We're in a very sort of surprising place. It looks like a bucolic kind of country stream, but we're in the middle of the South Bronx at 180th Street on the Bronx River. The Bronx River, like almost every centrally urban river, was commodified and used for waste disposal and for industry and for just literally dumping garbage on the banks. In fact, there's quite a lot of garbage here. People saw some potential and sort of jumped into the Bronx River as a cause to bring back this potential ecological gem to the people of the South Bronx. I got intrigued by the Bronx River as I heard about the restoration process taking place, largely under the umbrella of the Bronx River Alliance. As the restoration process got more involved with the idea of bringing back fish, as a fish biologist, I was asked to become involved and became someone who started to monitor the runs of migratory fish that come from the sea to utilize this river. There's a species that we thought might either still exist here or might be extinct but brought back, and that's the alewife, which is a small shad-like fish. It spawned in rivers, it goes to sea, it grows up in the sea, and comes back in the spring, potentially in very large numbers, and runs into the rivers to spawn. But even though there is some spawning habitat here below the dam, it's not very large and it can't support a very large run. The habitat above the dam is ideal and it's quite lengthy. Dams block the movements of migratory fish to their historical spawning grounds. The notion here is to open up these dams through what are called fishways or fish ladders. They're basically devices that allow a fish to work its way over a concrete incline where the water's flowing down the chute with baffles. They just go rushing up this chute and make it over the dam. And when they do, they'll discover this wonderful spawning habitat that I think will allow for a major increase in this population. I'm hoping that this, in addition to having ecological value for this system in bringing back a native fish that was an important part of its primordial ecology, also will serve as a symbol for the recovery of urban rivers. The Bronx River is also home to the American eel, which is a species that's been described as the most mysterious fish in the sea. We've caught some 2.5-footers in here. There's some really large eels, but they also are retarded by the dams. My students and I have been looking at how eels actually use the system and how we might increase their numbers in the system and get them further upriver. The pattern we saw when we went and shocked using electrofishing gear below several dams in a row was that the lowermost dam had many eels of a small size, the next dam had fewer of a larger size, and the third dam had even far fewer of a larger size. So there's a clear retardation with each dam in the ability of the eels to get upriver. Not only do we need fish ladders for the alewives, but we need separate special eel ladders to get the eels up there. Because the American eel has this incredible life history with this dramatic, very lengthy migration from the open Atlantic Ocean to way up at headwater streams along the east coast of North America, it's a great opportunity to teach students about life histories in general and how so many different ecosystems are connected. You don't think of the open Atlantic Ocean as being connected to the middle of the South Bronx, and yet this eel is a direct connector that brings these two wildly disparate ecosystems together. I especially love taking my students out to the local waters and putting them in chest waders for the first time and having them walk in the water and pull a net and catch fish with their own hands. Their eyes light up. They can't believe that they actually did this themselves. Queens College is in one of the most diverse areas of the entire U.S., and we have many immigrants and first-generation offspring. It's kind of an eye-opener for them to see that our waters are recovering and that they can take a field trip a mile or two from the college and see rather remarkable wildlife. I believe urban rivers are undergoing a renaissance in this country. They had this kind of common pattern of industrialization and then much of the bones of industry left behind, useless dams, factories rotting on the banks, all kinds of waste in the rivers. And in almost every city with any river of consequence, there are local community groups that are saying, hey, we don't have to tolerate this. We can bring our rivers back, stopping pollution from entering the rivers and building parks along their shores and beginning educational programs. And there's just this great new appreciation for what should be. They never should have been compromised in the first place like this. and they're being brought back to what they are, great natural amenities that we should treasure.